So, hello everybody. Yeah, we should be live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, let's see. Next stream is on Thursday, which will be the 18th of September at 3:30 p.m. That will be sentence transformations, and Friday 19th the same. I'm into that girl, I'm into that woman. Yeah, that sounds pretty good as well. It's more informal, Vitali. So, hi there to Julia and Renyard, and to Vitali and Victoria, and hi to Patricia as well. That's brilliant. So, let's go for it. This was an article about taking vitamins. It's all right, Renya. I can understand that. That's not a problem. Hi, Oksana. Lovely to see you. Hi, Maurits. Lovely to see you as well. Yeah, yes, Renya. When you fall in love, then many things go out of the window, and you only concentrate on that. While vitamin D supplements did not affect overall prevalence of cardiovascular disease, strokes or cancer, there was a 17% reduction, decline, cutback, markdown in deaths from cancer. Yuri says reduction. Vitali says decline. Decline or reduction, says Oksana. Reduction, says Maurits. Reduction, says Renyard. Decline, says Julia. Decline, says Victoria. Decline, says Manisco. Decline, says Patricia. Okay, this question is tricky. Let's see. Firstly, I would accept both reduction and decline. But which do you think is better? And that makes it a very tricky question. Reduction or decline? Patricia's going for reduction. They're both valid. Reduction and decline are both valid. Reduction in deaths. Maurits says reduction. Oksana says reduction. Victoria says reduction. Something is abrupt, the other is not. A steep decline. That's very good, Renyard. Let's see, it slowly declines, or it steeply declines. Whereas reduction is suddenly from one to the other. I think I prefer decline, because I think this is something that slowly happens. But reduction, I think, works, although reduction in deaths, a decline in deaths, a decline. Okay, so while Manson focused solely, alone, singly, solo, on individuals who had been taking vitamin D for 2 years or more, for 2 or more years, there was a statistically significant 25% reduction in cancer deaths and a 17% reduction in metastatic cancer. Focus. So solely for Oksana, solely for Yuri, solely for Patricia. Exclusively, good word, Vitali. Focus solely, good, Maurits. So, focused alone. No, focused on individual alone at the end, and then it probably gets lost. Focus singly, one by one by one. Solo, no, doing something solo on your own. He focused solely on these people. It may be singularly. It may be that vitamin D affects the biology of tumour cells to make them less invasive, interfering, pushy, infringing, and less likely to lead to metastasis. But it doesn't affect the first diagnosis of cancer, says Manson. Invasive, says Maurits. Singularly might work, Vitali, but I think it's better solely. Invasive for Maurits, interfering for Vitali, invasive for Julia, invasive for Patricia, invasive for Oksana, invasive for Manisco. Okay. To infringe. Less pushy. Let's see. Intrusives. So if you infringe the rules, you infringe somebody's rights. Somebody who's pushy is somebody who is trying to get you to do something. A pushy salesman. Is somebody who's trying to push you into doing something. This pushy describes a person. Interfering is sticking your nose in other people's business. Stop interfering in my business. To interfere. Whereas invasive, this is the word, invasive. Hi, I didn't say hi to Yuri, by the way. Yeah. Okay, invasive, particularly, makes them less invasive. Invasive is the word. Solely, exclusively, and singularly. Okay. The vital trial has also shown that vitamin D supplements significantly reduce the rank grade measure rate of autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis and psoriasis. Rate for Vitali, rate for Maurits, rate for Yuri, rate for Julia, rate for Oksana. The rate, yes, how fast. Rate for Patricia, rate for Renyard. Okay, the rank. The rank is level, grade is level, measure is how far. High Serdar, rate for Serdar as well. Good. As vitamin D is vital for maintaining healthy bones, it has frequently been claimed that daily vitamin D pills might obstruct, prohibit, restrain, prevent bone fractures, particularly in elderly people. Prevent, says Yuri. Prevent, says Vitali. Prevent, says Renyard. Prevent for Maurits. Prevent for Oksana. Prevent for Julia. Prevent for Victoria. This looks good. To obstruct is something in the way. Did you learn about the effect of frostbite on the member? My gosh. I can't even begin to think about it. Prevent for Sendai and prevent for Manisco, prevent for Patricia as well. To obstruct is to get in the way. This building obstructs my view of the sea. To prohibit is to make a law against it. To restrain is to hold back. Prince Harry. To restrain is to hold something back, to prevent. Yeah, to prevent. Something helps to prevent. You can't legislate against it. As early as an early 2000s clinical trial in France found that older people, especially women in a care home setting, scene, location, locale, may benefit from vitamin D supplementation. Stop. Yes, stop. Absolutely, Vitaly. Setting for Maurit, setting for Vitaly, setting for Julia, setting for Yuri. Okay, a locale is like a shop or a building. Setting for Oksana. Setting or settings. Yes, definitely, Rainyard. A locale is normally a shop or a place where something is done. Home setting. Yes. A care home setting. Care home location is the place. The location on the map. The scene, no, the setting. The setting is the background. The set in the theatre as the decoration to give you an idea of the place. Smash the like, as Julia says. Thank you, Julia. However, subsequent evidence has been mixed, hesitant, unsettled, irresolute. Yeah, they say settings. Yeah, well, this is a rural setting. It could be setting or settings. It could be either. Mixed says Yuri. Mixed says Vitaly. Mixed says Julia. Mixed says Maurits. Mixed for Patricia. Mixed for Oksana. Hi Andrea, good to see you. Okay, so irresolute is when you're not determined to do something. You don't have determination. You give up very easily. Mixed for Renyard. Unsettled is the weather is unsettled. The children are unsettled. The weather is unsettled. Hesitant is where you hold back. Mixed evidence. Mixed means gives different things. Yes, it will probably hurt a great deal, Patricia. So mixed evidence, mixed results. The vital trial found that vitamin D did not prevent bone fractures, while two other studies, the VIDA study and the D-Health study, also found no critical, remarkable, main, significant benefit of taking vitamin D supplements for fractures or falls. Significant for Oksana, significant for Yuri, significant for Julia, significant for Maurits. Call the nurse. Yeah, she'll kiss it better for me. So critical benefit. No, critical point. Remarkable. Normally something that's remarkable is something that's amazing. That's remarkable. It's quite fantastic. A remarkable improvement. But a remarkable benefit. Vitamin D has the remarkable benefit of doubling your intelligence. That would be remarkable. It's remarkable that he can run 100 meters in 5 seconds. Significant for Renyard and Lionheart, welcome Lionheart, and significant for Patricia and Manisco. A significant benefit, definitely. It's of significance, it's of importance. You can see it, you can notice it. Blowing your own trumpet, my gosh. However, it could be that participants of the trials did not benefit because they already had enough competent, sufficient, admissible vitamin D levels, according to Dawson Hughes. Enough vitamin D levels, competent vitamin D levels, sufficient vitamin D levels, admissible vitamin D levels. Sufficient for Oksana, sufficient for Maurits, sufficient for Yuri, sufficient for Julia, sufficient for Vitaly, sufficient for Patricia, sufficient for Renyard. High enough vitamin D levels. Very good Maurits. Yeah, high enough levels. Sufficient for Lionheart, sufficient for Victoria. Competent is about being able to do something well. He's a competent artist. And admissible is within the range, with the qualifications necessary to get in. No. Has sufficient vitamin D levels, very definitely. Manu had enough vitamin D, but without the levels, Manu. Sufficient first. Okay. Morning, great to have you. Satisfactory, definitely Patricia. Satisfactory is a satisfactory answer. Popping, cracking, snapping, placing a daily multivitamin could be beneficial for health, particularly for older adults. Popping, says Vitaly. Popping, says Yuri. Popping, says Manu. Popping, says Julia. Popping, says Maurits. Popping, says Oksana. Popping, says Patricia. Okay, to pop a pill. Pill popping. This is a popping a daily multivitamin. Yeah, Manu. This phrase is a collocation. Pill popping. To pop a pill. To take. To pop. Taking, yes, absolutely, Renyard. Okay, the first thing Manu does when he puts his feet on the floor, he pops his pill. Okay, so pill popping, to pop a pill. It's informal, but it's very, very commonly used. None of these trials selected elders with low vitamin D status as a benchmark standard criterion principle for entry. Criterion, says Oksana. A chute de vitaminas. Criterion, says Yuri. Criterion, says Manu. Criterion for Vitaly. Criterion, says Patricia. Notice one criterion, two criteria. Criterion for Victoria. Criterion for Maurits. Criterion for Lionheart. Okay, a benchmark is normally a level. Criterion for Julia. as a principle for entry. Yes, a standard for entry. Criterion is by far and out the best. 1 criterion, 2 criteria. Good Maldives. And it turned out Vit D3 on your balcony. Tanned, I love you, tanned. Okay, verne, verne. And it turned out that they were taking place in the time frame when vitamin D was being boosted, overrated, hyped, I put boosted twice, as the cure for everything. So hyped for Yuri. Touted, I love that word touted. I wanted to put that, but it's just too good an answer. Hyped for Oksana. Hyped for Victoria. Overrated. It was being overrated, but hyped, it talks about the press. It's talking about lots of advertising, lots of articles. Hyped for Julia, hyped for Maurits. It was being hyped, but overrated could be. Touted, supported, touted, sold. Yeah? It was being overrated. Hype means something is overrated. Hype is lots and lots and lots of articles in the press. And was being overrated. Now it's not overrated. I don't like this continuous tense with overrated. A panacea for all. Good. Hyped for Reynard. Boosted in the sun. Touted to attempt to sell something. Typically by a direct or constant approach. A ticket tout. It was being hyped. Yeah, lots and lots of hype. It's hyped, yeah. It's better than overrated. And at least in the United States, vitamin D sales were escalating, intensifying, amplifying, deepening, says Dawson Hughes. Escalating, says Yuri. Escalating, says Julia. Soaring, says Yuri. Yeah, I like soaring. More hype, and the more it soars. Escalating, yes. I wouldn't use intensifying. Going off piste. I used to volunteer in a care home back in the day. It happened more by accident than design. I did enjoy helping out with whatever it happened to be. Okay, that sounds interesting, Vitali. Thanks for sharing. Escalating or soaring for Patricia. Escalating for Maurits. Skyrocketing, says Renyard. Yes, escalating. So, intensifying. Pressure intensifies. You can't see yourself ending up there in your dotage. Yeah, I always think about shooting myself before I end up there in my dotage. Amplifying is to make louder, to make more intense, but particularly with sound. A deepening crisis, a deepening problem, a deepening rift. No, escalating. Sales were escalating. Dotage when a person is old and weak. Absolutely. As a result, the starting vitamin D status grade, degree, stage of most of the trial participants was already in the desired or optimal range. Deepening don't match. A deepening problem, a deepening crisis, a deepening concern, deepening worry. A deepening deficit. Status for Manu, stage for Victoria. Status for Oksana, status for Manisco. Stage for Julia. Status for Patricia. Yes, of course I missed you, Rishi. Good to see you. Status for Renyard. Okay, notice a stage. In a process, you get to the first stage, and then you get to the second stage, and then you get to the third stage. It's a process with 3 stages. Taking the sun is best. A little while in the morning is enough. Okay, status, says Maureen. Status. It's stages, the stages of life. The degree, no, the grade, no, the status. The starting status. Yeah, did they have enough or didn't they have enough? Status for Julia. A 12th grader. I think you probably are, but I don't know. It's sunny today, maybe sunny 25 degrees, something like that today, Manu. Okay. Oh, yes, I like this question. This is one of the better ones. Appealingly, intriguingly, enthrallingly, beguilingly, evidence is starting to grow that popping a daily multivitamin could be beneficial for health, particularly for older adults. I guess a 12th grader's probably 17, 16. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. Intriguingly, says Vitali. Manu's only in the 7th grade. Appealingly, intriguingly, enthrallingly, beguilingly. Evidence is starting to grow that it could be found. Intriguingly, says Maurits. Intriguingly, says Patricia. Intriguingly, says Julia. Intriguingly, says Yuri. Okay, so appealingly. If something's appealing, it looks good, it looks beautiful. Appealingly for women or for a dish of food. 7th grade during lockdown. Appealingly. Means attractive. Enthrallingly. If you're enthralled in a film, you are in a spell. It's just so incredible. You are enthralled by somebody you've fallen in love with. You're enthralled. You are in a magic spell. Something that is beguiling. It tricks you into a magic spell. Intriguingly. Interestingly. Something that's intriguing is interesting. Okay, yes, there is very definitely, Renyard. Intriguingly, they're saying that a multivitamin is good for older adults, but it's not good for younger people. That older people have certain problems or difficulties, strange as it may seem. Enthrallingly and beguilingly. So she is enthrallingly beautiful. Something that's beguiling. She is beguilingly attractive. Appealing words, but not for Donald Trump. Good, I'm with you there, Manu. Okay, it's intriguingly, interestingly. Okay, it's only good for certain people, but not for all of them. Manson's physician's health study 2. Perception can be deceptive. That's very perceptive, Rishi. Manson's physician's health study 2, which began over 20 years ago, found that the hazard, risk, threat, uncertainty of being diagnosed with cancer was 8% lower in people who took a daily multivitamin for 11 years. Wow. Correction, always receptive. Oksana says risk. Vitali says risk. Julia says risk. Yuri says risk. No, older adults. I'm an older adult. I get the feeling that most of you are not older adults. Older adult, 50, 60, 70 years old. Yeah, younger adults, 20, 25, 30. Risk or hazard, says Manu. Risk, says Renyard. Risk, says Maurice. Risk for Victoria. Risk or hazard for Manu. Risk for Patricia. A senior citizen, that's the point. An older adult. Okay, the hazard. Yeah, quite a long study. That's what I thought. I wondered if this 11 was a mistake. Okay, the hazard of being diagnosed. But a hazard is something that's dangerous that you come across. There's a danger. The danger. But the risk. A threat is where somebody threatens you. They say, I'm going to beat you up. The uncertainty is when you're not sure. 30 is when you realise younger people will call you uncle. There's no scale for old or adult. Yeah, 18, you're an adult. But old, 65. So, health hazards, that's very good. Last one for today, people. You're older than Mick Jagger and Bob Dylan. Wow, then you're really getting on, Manu. The greatest benefit was in older participants who were above the age of 70, who had an 18% cutback, drop, downturn, reduction in cancer. Risk is the right call. With the multivitamin assignment compared to the placebo group, reduction. Well, contrite versus remorseful. Reduction, says Manu. Reduction, says Renyard. Reduction, says Manu. Reduction, says Yuri. Reduction for Julia. Reduction for Rishi. Drop is too informal and it's also too sudden, Oksana. Cutback. No, cutbacks. You cut back your spending. The government cut back in spending. An 18% drop off would certainly work. Reduction for Patricia, reduction for Maurice and Victoria. An 18% drop, yes. Who saw an 18% drop? Okay, let's see. Contrite, I think, is how you behave, whereas remorseful is how you feel. So I did something bad and I am remorseful. I feel bad inside. Whereas I think contrite is how you show this to the outside world. So maybe you have your head down and you have your hands in front of you. So contrite is you're looking sorry, looking sad, looking upset. Whereas remorse is the emotion inside you. Now, Rishi, I think both words are the same, but I think contrite is more external and remorseful is more internal. And let me just copy that. Okay, so a reduction. Aye. A reduction. Okay, I'm going to stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, placebo. Doleful. I think contrite is more with the idea of doleful. Hey, Yuri-san, lovely to see you. Docile means easy to make do something. Not aggressive. Very relaxed. Not wild. A drop-off is as natural as reduction, but drop veers more to the vernacular. Thank you. So, let's change. And it's been great. It's been great having you all. Next stream is on Thursday, which is going to be the 18th of September at 3:30 p.m. UK time. So thank you all of you. It's been great having you. Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Maurit. Thank you, Manisco. Thank you, Julia. You have a good one too, Vitali. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Renyard. Thank you, Yuri. And thank you, Yuri-san. Thank you, Oksana. It's good to know you're safe. Thank you, Victoria. And so, thank you to Julia and Manisco and Manu and Mauritz and Oksana and Patricia and Renyard and Rishi and Victoria and Yuri-san, and thank you to Vitali as well. Thank you all for coming. It's been great. Who was that? I saw Pliable. Eating at the Savoy Grill by Gordon Ramsay. Too many F words, Rishi. It's been great having you. So docile, pliant, flee from the frostbite. Whoa. High honorary judicial in certain countries. Maître, master in French. Or teacher. So thank you all of you. It's been great having you. Take care, enjoy yourselves. I'm still trying to find pliable and obedient for docile. The horse was very docile once it had been broken. The wild bear was made docile by a hit of tranquilizers. Hey, hi Paddy, great to see you. Maître D, the master, the head waiter. Normally he's very aggressive, but today he was much more docile. There you go, Rishi. So, thank you all for coming. It's been great having you. I hope to see you all on Thursday. Take care of yourselves and